All right, so you're lacing up, ready for a run, and that little voice in your head pipes up right. Is this run really doing anything? Am I pushing too hard, or am I just kind of going through the motions here?
I think every runner's been there. You start to wonder, is there a better way, a smarter way to train?
Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into today, this whole idea of precision running. We've got Coach Roy Benson's insights to guide us. He's been working with runners of all levels for over 3 decades, and his big thing is ditch the one-size-fits-all plans.
Yeah.
Your training needs to be as individual as you are.
Yeah, cookie cutter plans, those just don't cut it, especially if you're serious about seeing results.
And one of the most powerful tools for this personalized approach, your heart rate. Think of it like this. A heart rate monitor. It's basically giving you this constant inside look at what's going on in your body. How hard are you really working? How's the weather affecting things? It can even give you hints about your energy levels.
It's like having a personal coach whispering in your ear, hey, this is what your body's telling me right now.
So in this deep dive, we're going to give you the knowledge to choose the right running workouts to hit your personal best, whatever that looks like for you. We're talking target heart rate zones, how to figure out your individual target heart rates.
Because, and this is key, precision workouts, they're not just about pace, how fast or slow you're going. It's about effort. How hard or easy does the run feel? And your heart rate, that tells the real story.
And your fitness level, that's always changing based on what you're asking your body to do. Especially when you get your heart rate up there, 60 to 100% of your max.
It's all about pushing your limits, but doing it in a smart way.
And that brings us to the big question. Why are you running in the first place? Is it to just feel good, have more energy? Maybe you want to manage your weight? Or is it about a healthier heart? Or maybe you're chasing that competitive edge? Because the intensity you need in your training, that's going to look different depending on what's driving you.
Absolutely. And to help us figure this out, we've got these things called target heart rate zones. They're basically ranges based on a percentage of your max heart rate.
Yeah.
And each zone, it kind of lines up with different running goals.
Okay, so let's break it down. 50 to 60%, that's light intensity. Think everyday stuff. Then you've got 60 to 70%, light to moderate. That's where weight management often comes in. Kick it up a notch, 70 to 85%. Now we're talking moderate. This is where you start seeing those big improvements in fitness. And then finally, 85 to 100%, heavy duty, reserved for the competitive folks.
And the beauty of it is, it's not like you're stuck in one zone forever. You can start in one, and as you get fitter, your goals change. You can bump it up to the next one.
Makes sense. Now let's get down to brass tacks here. Individualized training. For years, it was all about no pain, no gain, right? Push yourself to the limit every time. But Coach Benson's approach, it's all about asking smarter questions.
Right. It's like, what kind of training is actually going to get me to my specific goals, not just punish me for no reason?
Exactly. So we start thinking strategically. What's the best way to lose weight, keep it off? What's going to give me more energy throughout the day? How do I make my heart stronger? And if I want to run a race, what do I need to do to get there? Just finish. Or actually compete.
So we're not just running blindly, we're running with purpose.
And the great thing is, there's actual science backing this up. Researchers, they've identified these 3 main categories of goals that most runners have. Looking and feeling better, that's one. Having a healthy heart, another. And then going all out for peak performance.
And these goals, they're all connected. It's like building blocks. Which brings us to the training triangle. Picture a pyramid, right? The foundation, that's running in that 60 to 70% zone, weight management.
Yeah, that's usually where people start. And then you get comfortable there and you can level up. Aerobic training, 70 to 80%. That's for a healthier heart.
And then top of the pyramid, those who really want to push it, 80 to 100% zone. That's peak performance training.
Each level has its own training patterns. So let's break it down. You want to look good, feel good, manage your weight. It's all about those easier aerobic runs, 60 to 70%. Building that endurance so you can keep going without stopping and making steady progress.
Slow and steady wins the race, as they say.
In the book, he gives an example week. 3 to 5 runs, some shorter, easier ones for recovery, some longer, slower to moderate to burn fat, and then maybe once a week, you throw in some faster bursts, fartlek, speed play, just little bits of faster running, then back to jogging. Can really make a difference.
It's all about mixing it up, keeping your body guessing.
Now, healthy heart. We got to step up the effort. 70 to 80% zone. This is where you really start to see those big changes in your cardiovascular system. You actually start to build more pathways for blood flow, collateral circulation.
Think of it like your body's building extra roads for your heart and muscles. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So at this level, still some easier runs, but more faster running, fartlek, some steady runs at a moderate pace, even some longer runs, but at a good hard effort, 5 days a week, something like that.
And then we've got our competitive runners. This is where it gets serious. We're adding in workouts in that 80 to 100% zone, building speed, maxing out endurance, getting that stamina up, and really refining how you move. Economy of motion, they call it.
Making every movement count. No wasted energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This level, it takes a lot of dedication, focus. Got to be willing to put in the work and be smart about it.
A typical week for these folks. 6, even 7 days of running. Slow, easy runs for recovery. Intervals, structured bursts of speed on a track or measured course. Harder fartlek, tempo runs. That's running at a sustained, comfortably hard effort. And still that long, easy run to build endurance.
It's a full-on program.
So we've talked a lot about these heart rate zones, but here's the thing. You got to personalize them. Those percentages, they're all based on your maximum heart rate, and everyone's different.
Oh, right. You got to figure out what your numbers are.
First step, your resting heart rate, RHR. It actually tells you a lot about your fitness level. Generally, fitter you are, lower your resting heart rate. Makes sense. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard when you're chilling.
Efficient heart, happy heart.
Exactly. Best way to find it, check your pulse first thing in the morning before you even get out of bed. Do that for 5 days, then average it out.
Easy enough.
Next up, maximum heart rate, MHR, the absolute highest your ticker can go. Most accurate way to find it, clinical test, on a treadmill with doctors around, but there's an easier way, predicted maximum heart rate.
And that's where that old formula comes in, right? 220 minus your age.
Yep, but here's the thing. That formula, it's not always accurate, especially for older folks or those who are already really fit. So the book introduces this training heart rate calculator. Takes your age into account, but also your resting heart rate. Gives you a more personalized prediction.
So 2 people, same age, could have totally different training zones, right?
Exactly. That's why just using age, it can lead you astray. You might be training too easy or way too hard.
And that resting heart rate, it factors in the fact that if you're already fit, your heart's working differently.
So this calculator, it's basically a chart. You find your resting heart rate on one side, your age on the other, which gives you predicted max. Draw a line between them. Where that line hits the different percentage zones, that's your personalized range.
The book has an example. 25-year-old, resting heart rate of 70, predicted max of 195. Using the calculator, if they want to train at 60-65% effort, their target zone is 145 to 151 beats per minute.
Way more specific than just taking 60% of 195, right?
Much more dialed in.
And pay attention to how those zones feel when you're actually running. If it's always too easy or way too hard to hit those numbers, might mean your predicted max isn't quite right.
Your body's the best feedback system.
And the book mentions a pace and effort test you can do. It's a later chapter. Another way to see if your perceived effort, how hard it feels, matches those heart rate zones.
Good to double check.
So we've figured out the how hard part. Now let's build these workouts. The book talks about 4 things to think about. How hard, how long, how often, in what kind of activity.
So for running, using those heart rate zones, we've got 3 basic types of workouts. Easy effort, 60 to 75%. Moderate effort, 75 to 85%. And hard effort, 85 to 95%.
And a really important concept here, hard, easy. You got to mix it up. Hard workouts, then easier ones for recovery. That's how your body adapts, gets stronger, and avoids getting hurt.
Can't just go hard all the time.
And the book has these sample weekly plans, different starting points, different levels. Start where you are, be patient, and build up gradually. Better to start slow than burn out.
Always.
You can adapt those sample schedules to fit your life, of course. Key is keep that hard, easy balance. Don't stack too many hard days together. Recovery is just as important.
Got to give your body a break.
And you can adjust on the fly. If a hard day feels too much, shorten the intervals, go for a lower heart rate, maybe even turn it into a moderate effort run. You've got that flexibility.
As long as you're generally sticking to the plan over the week, you're good.
But the biggest takeaway here, I think, is this. These workouts, they're all about your individual 100% effort, how it feels to you. Not about comparing yourself to other people or chasing some pace on your watch. It's about listening to your body. The book even says, run with your heart rate on your sleeve. Just count it.
Love that.
So to wrap it all up, this whole approach of using heart rate zones, it's a smart way to train. You can really fine-tune your workouts to match your goals, whether it's fitness, a healthy heart, or crushing it in a race.
And remember that calculator. It's a great way to figure out your personal heart rate zones. Way more accurate than just using your age.
We didn't get to it today, but there's also this pace and effort chart in the book, Chapter 8. Another tool to check if your heart rate zones are feeling right. Might be a good topic for another deep dive sometime.
Definitely.
So the bottom line is, understanding your effort, using your heart rate, it can make your running more effective, more rewarding. So next time you're heading out, think about what your 100% effort feels like and how you can use that to get the most out of your run.
Your best run.
Your best run.